Hey, so I've been meaning to do some research. I've got some players to add to my projections model because they were missing, or they want projections from them, essentially. And I thought, why not go live? It's been a week since I did a live stream. Bit last minute, but what you can do, I guess. So yeah, if anyone has any questions or want to chat, I'm here. I guess I'll pull my screen here and let me know. Otherwise, it's just going to be a video of a nerd and nerd typing away. Click out on my comments tab just on the off chance someone actually comes by, and probably not. I'm just checking Twitter. So I gotta find those player names that I meant to add. I can't remember who it is. All right, who we gotta add here? Come on. Jeff Driscoll. Okay. I need to hide you. Thank you. Come on, dude. What's your ID? Okay. Literally have no thoughts. Like, I can't just talk about something. I'm not, like, I have no idea what I talk about. I've literally just been intending to do some research on, we keep talking about the flattening of wide receiver scoring and running back scoring being up and down. I thought I'd just see what that looked like. But first I gotta do some work, which is adding in not another Drew Lock, but a Jeff Driscoll, the Detroit quarterback situation. Yes. I have to add in their IDs because they have to look up their historical stats, Right. Come on, Excel, keep up. Yeah. See, it's going to get 20% of the throws with what in how many games? This game's played. Isn't it showing me? Yeah, there it is. And 3 games is going to come in a little bit, right? 3 games, I'll get what, 10%? The throws across 3 games, something like that. Sorry, I'm getting my blinds aren't apparently perfectly closed, and the sunset's happening, so I'm getting lines on my face. Not that you really need to be able to see the sheet, but I'll zoom in a little bit. All right, this Denver's backup quarterback. Who else was it? Okay, you are honestly not sure who you are off the top of my head. Jacksonville Jaguars running back. Interesting. Okay. Only doing that right now. Freeze it there. What just happened? I think it just crashed on me. Nice. Hey, Spaceman, Hat Tip, how you doing? Sorry, man, don't rearrange your night. Like, literally, I have no plans. I was just going to do some research. I have to add some players to my projection model. And I was like, why not go live? I don't do that often. Enough. Like, my last live stream was like a week ago or so. I didn't bring my coffee down. Shoot. I have to go get my coffee in a minute. And, I don't know. So I try and make myself available, you know? Oh, crap. I got to do him again now. I got to add Jeff Driscoll to Denver, and I got to add a running back to Jacksonville, and then I want to actually do some research. But, you know, work comes first, I guess. So I'm going to add... Not there. Why did I... Throw me off my game. Live stream. Shouldn't take this long. If you have anything you want to talk about, man, I got nothing. I'm going to do some positional scoring research, I hope, tonight. And after I add these 2 players to the projection database, which you literally can't see on that little thing there, but I thought I'd have something other than just my face up. So Jeff Driscoll. Oh, there's an E in Jeff. There he is. Where did I just put you? This tiny, tiny print, man. There are too many players in this thing at this point. There he is. If you can't move in Spaceman, you got something you wanna burn me with? was excited to think about your SFBX streams. I had a ton of brainstorming strategies, so that'd be cool. I haven't even looked at the scoring yet, to be honest with you. Is there anything interesting in it? Scott usually does something a little weird, right? Just to keep us on our toes. Fiscal. Like, what did I say? He's going to, what, 3 games, he'll come in and get 10% of the throws. That seems fair to me. How much has he ever rushed? 26%. Wow. Oh, yeah, in those games, I'll get. What am I balancing him to? 17? Yeah, that's fine. 2 greater than acres. Superflex? Yeah. Kind of have to. He hasn't released it as far as I know. Okay, that's probably why I don't know what it is. I'm sure it'll be all over Twitter the minute it comes out. I have to panic about it. But yeah, scoring in SFB is always interesting. Jacksonville. Anyone want to see how you add a player to an Excel database? No? Didn't think so. Okay, what was that guy's name? Devin Ozigbo. Good luck, buddy. Love the grind. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I'm meant to be talking to Zach this week for the Dynasty Crossroads, and I don't think it's going to happen because our schedules aren't lining up. So I wish I hadn't announced that on the last podcast. Not that anyone's listening to care, but like I do hate misinformation. So Devin, what are you going to do for us here? Let's see. You're not going to get 50% of the targets, are you? Let's see. Okay. Never been heavily used in the passing game, I see. Let's see who you are. What's your profile look like? Big boy. 5'11", 220 pounds. Yeah, I'm over Russia. Slow but strong. Decent college target share, though. I mean, you should get something. If I'm going to project him, which apparently I am. Let's see what I got him for now. 24% of the rushes. Seems a little heavy for this guy. Not projecting a full net injury. I don't do that. So where's the rushing attempts at? Projecting 138% of them. Okay, so we're a little heavy on good old Jacksonville right now. So that's because of Devin. Let's bring you down to like 8 and 10. Let's see what that looks like. Volume, we're under projecting the target volume in Jacksonville right now by about 2.2 targets a game. So I guess I could bring you in that way. More of a rusher though. You'd think that'd be more Armstrong, but let's push it. Let's push our luck here. Oh, hey, more people. Hey, how you doing? Love the grind, Spaceman. More chat. Zach has been everywhere lately. Yeah. It's been a lot of fun to listen to Zach places. I'm really behind on podcasts right now, though. I was just trying to catch up with the Trade Addicts podcast today, and it took me like 3 attempts. Hey, Tanho. bigger spreadsheet, please. Well, yeah, it's doesn't really matter how big I make it, man. It's just a big spreadsheet. It's there you go. Probably as good as I can do. That's that's probably the right balance. I'm trying to add Devin a Zigbo. I have no idea what kind of role I can give him. Let's save this before it crashes again. Yeah. Appreciate you. I was also going to look up, now you say it, I'm going to use this thing to do a little bit of research, hopefully. That's my main point in coming all the way down the stairs, and I'm very lazy, so it was a lot of effort. So I better... I listened to the Late Ram podcast. That's one I've been able to catch up on. And no, I feel like that episode is kind of the same thing as that article I wrote a couple of seasons ago. Just saying, throwing it out there. You know, I'm leading JJ Zacharyson by about a year. Not really. But yeah, it's good to hear his take on it. Why? It stopped. Okay. When I zoom in, my cell freezes aren't working properly. Now it won't. There we go. Now when I go this way, right? No, stopped. Okay. Decent, perfectly expected. Stop. All right. I need to lock this at least about there. Sorry, I'm just talking about. See the way the columns get locked left and right, like that disappeared for a second. I wasn't like that's not useful to me. I need to be able to see more than one thing. I should use panels really, but I'm very, very lazy when it comes to Excel eccentricities. I use what I know. I want to learn new things, you know. I don't know. What did Devin do? Is Devin new? No, Devin played last year. 1% target share. Doing good there, Devin. Positional target share anywhere? Hello? Not 0.6 positional target share per game. Oh, okay. 5 targets per game. Decent, Devin, decent. Rushing attempts. I don't think he was used a lot. I guess I can. That's where I've got some missing targets at the running back position here. I can boost him there. He looks more like a runner, but what you gonna do? I'll dig into it a little bit more heavily later, but for now, let's do him targets more than rushing attempts. Yeah, I got like 2.6 targets per game missing from my projected Jacksonville target share and running back target share. So do that and recoup some. Okay. What's going with me? Okay, the averages come out. Let's see. Oh, that's why. 4.7. An over projection, not an under projection? I'm reading it wrong. Oh yeah, I'm over projecting them this way. Okay. Yeah, good old Chris Thompson. We'll ding you a little bit. All right, well, we're going per game now. It gets a little tricky. Anyway, we'll just put them in. Let the averages take care of them. All right. Now I have to add the names to the export file, the export tab, because I'm, again, very lazy. So I just have it constantly looking up the new information instead of having to update it every time. I have gotten to the point at Player Profile now where I just send them everyone. I don't have to send them the top 300 anymore or anything like that. So that's fun. Because that involved a whole separate ranking process and making sure I kept that updated so that I was sending the right players. And then the player ranks changed because some players I didn't send are actually getting projected higher. So we're less interested in certain players because of a lack of upside. I'm going to turn Dropbox off. That should help out with the streaming quality, by the way. Huh. Why aren't you... Okay, I'm missing some things here. Aha. Oh, dear. That's fine. Don't you hate Jacksonville with a C or an X? Jacksonville QB looking for P. Why didn't it correct those guys? Seriously. What's the point in a fix all button if it doesn't fix all? Just saying. Yeah, there we go. So you're good now, right? Yeah, just Driscoll's good. All right. It's work finished with. Wow, what a grind. All right, now I'm going to be playing with this. Okie dokie, how do I have it organized? Oh, that's unfortunate. This is points per game, right? This is all points. This is points per game. 3-year average, 3-year average. This is a total average, right? Yeah, I can get rid of these. I don't know. I'm gonna need them for this. All right, so let's see. QB. Sorry, I am trying to look over just in case you guys have some fun insults you want to sling my way, but for some reason I'm struggling. Hey, Dunkton. It's going pretty well. Like I say, this is, I guess, a good or a bad live stream. I don't know. I don't really have a purpose for it. I was just working on some stuff, and I thought the button's right there. Why don't I just go live? I just moved on to, I'm going to do some brief initial. I'm really interested in, everyone's talking about the scoring of the NFL changing, the wide receiver scoring flattening out over the last few years, running back scoring peaking. I just thought I'd do a refresher for myself to check that some of our assumptions are right. So, yeah. I just don't know how I want to line it up yet. It's QB. So we got 13 to 17. We have it lined up this way. I wonder if we could just do graphs with this instead of having to struggle to make a new table. I don't typically do pivot charts and tables, but they are here. Where are you? Pivot tables? Pivot table? Pivot chart and table, please. Yeah, yeah, that'd be a fine name for it. All right, so we want to plot PPR rank, right? Oh, the labels are going to be messed up because I haven't. Oh, this is why pivot charts suck. I'll label each thing so that I know what it is. I don't even know how I want this lined up yet, to be clear. I don't know off the top of my head what gives the best view of how this stuff's been changing recently. I might have to reorganize the reorganize the data set. Filters, let's make that a legend. Yeah, that helps. Position rank. Let's see. Okay, we might need like an average for the year. No, don't want it there. $15. 16, 17, 18, 19. Position rank, where's that? Oh, that's why it's over here. Gonna need that in filters. Let's just look at the top 12 to keep it simple for now. Okay. Oh yeah, we're gonna need to change the chart type, sorry. That probably makes no sense to you right now. Line, please. Thank you. Still not a lot of sense. No idea how I want this lined up. This is why I don't do graphs anymore. Graphs suck. Okay, there we are. Now we need position in here. Let's look at running back specifically. Yeah, this isn't gonna work. I'm gonna need it organized differently. Yeah, you can see how, well, you might be able to see how at this point. What have I got here? See this green line right here at the top of everything? So along the bottom here, you've got position ranks 1 to 12 at the running back position. And you can see how running back scoring for the 2018, that's green, was a lot higher at every position except for the top 3. So like running back 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way until you get to running back 9. They were averaging higher points per game than that position rank for every other year since 2013. That's essentially the graph you're looking at right there. It's another reason 2018 felt so good, I guess. Yeah. Expand my luck here. Because we got these in a weird order. Not that it matters, but I'm a lane when it comes to stuff like that. 17 and 16. 15. All right. Kind of want to see them, the positions all at the same time, if you know what I mean. So I need an average column, right? I missed my music, actually. Live streaming was a bad idea. Hey, Spaceman, careful. You never know when crossover 27 will call a spreadsheet useless. The horror. Yeah, spreadsheets are mostly useful. I'm doing well, crossover. How you doing? Ranked out yet? Oh, yeah, more than ranked out. I hate ranks. They're useless. At this point, I'm not even ranking. I don't know if DLF has noticed, but what I'm creating is value tiers. Just like really spamming the tier button, right? And then I'm organizing them quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, somewhere in there within those different value tiers. Like, I don't know if anyone's going to notice that, but that's basically my ranks at this point. We respect the spreadsheet. Yes, we do. Crossover. Yes, we do. All right, so I got this average column in here, and technically, if I remember right with pivot tables, if I hit refresh around here somewhere, like, isn't there meant to be a refresh button where I can, yeah, refresh. And now there should be a little, yeah, there it is. So instead of all these, move that. Doop, doop. And instead, we'll insert points per game average. Yeah, it's nice and flat. How boring. Other positions. Wide receiver, tight end, quarterback. Why not? Give me all of them. It'd be nice to see them. No, I don't want. Oh, what are you doing? Refresh. Got that filtered. All of these selected, so they should all show up. Oh, we need them in the legend section. Okay, there you go. All right. Yeah, I kind of want to see a timeline. More than the position rank. A little more difficult with this kind of thing. All right, so reorganize. Oh, I need it sketched out a different way then, wouldn't I? 1, 2, 3, 5. What rank do we want to go to? 36? 36 good for everyone? Or we can just do QB. receiver. Okay, position link. Position 2013 points per game. Nice. Thank you, Excel, for the little bit of help there. All right, so yeah. Need a helper column. Oh, I already have it sketched out that way, so why can't I? I need it inverted. I hate this shit, man. Sometimes. Oh, it does. I sometimes look twitchy. It's actually not the stream. I just normally look twitchy. It just normally doesn't come through. How do you feel about zero RB? We were talking about that in one of my chats today. It's a league chat with some smart players. I think it's one way or the other. That's where I'm at right now. Either this is not a zero RB year, like it's a really bad year to do it, or it's a really great year to do it. Because that's the way zero RB works. It works best when the market shifts the other way hard. So if wide receivers start falling heavily, that's when you can really go zero RB, because you can hammer pretty much, 4 or 5 top 12 wide receivers real early, not have to worry about injuries as much as running back, and then grab RB value late. The question is there any RB value late? And that's kind of why I was looking at positional scoring to try and figure out some of that stuff. That's what put it in my head again. Now, right now, your values at zero RB, you're kind of stuck with players like, who did we say? We said, you're not getting David Johnson's, and you're not getting Le'Veon Bell's, and you're not getting Melvin Gordon's late is the problem. They're not falling late enough to work for zero RB. So you're getting like, it was really rough. I'd have to go look. Like the examples that we came up with were pretty good, but they weren't like, ooh, it's definitely time to do that, Like Jordan Howard was one of them, Jordan Howard's pretty good for zero RB. You could go Henderson, Darrell Henderson, if you really want to fade Akers or think that Henderson's going to rank out in year 2. I mentioned Giovanni Bernard because that's the thing that I do. Sony Michel, Tevin Coleman. Those were from Jacob Brickroad. Those are 2 pretty good names. I like Matt Breida, and someone else mentioned him as well. So it's not like zero RB isn't on the table, which is kind of why I'm trying to get a handle on what I think this year is, by looking at positional scoring and where we're at. On the face of it, it looks like a bad year to go zero RB. There's not great running backs falling, wide receiver scoring flattened off, and so their value isn't, what it was. I want to figure out if that's going to bounce back up, or continue the same, or get even worse if it's going to keep flattening. And that's where we go to the positional scoring here. So I don't know just yet how I feel. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Oh, that's what I'm doing wrong here. I got these wrong way around. That would it work better if I put you here, you there, right? Position rank, we've got it linked to the top 12 right now. These are the points per game average. What have we got running up the left here? Good question. I actually don't know what that is. This looks like the average, though. What's this? I want it to be position rank down here. That's not the sum of. Okay. Pivot tables, man, they're not really my thing. Product, min, max, average, count. No. Okay, we're just backing up here and trying again. Okay, so we're trying to look at the average points a game. The axis, positional rank. Here. Sum of positional rank. Yeah, let's try looking at that another way. The average. Right now, let's just look at those two because this is getting confusing. Positional rank. Points for games running up the left. We want points per game on the bottom. And the top. Oh, what a damn timeline, okay? Why is this so hard? Damn you, pivot tables. Carson's not bad, but again, let me check here. And you know, outside of Carson would be a great one, but outside of the maybe not in your league thing, I think Carson's getting taken inside the 0 RB range. And I'm gonna look at Dynasty ADP. Or we could look at Fantasy Pros. Fantasy Pros is fine, but DLF is, you know, where I normally go to look. Because I'm normally thinking Dynasty startups. But if we're just thinking pure 0 RB, then we're more talking best ball. We're more talking redrafts and stuff like that. So go take a look where Fantasy Pros has Chris Carson. I bet you he's going. I bet. Chris Carson's going 34th, or he's ranked 34th overall by Fantasy Pros. I mean, there you go. So he's, you know, he's a top 3 round pick. That's not 0 RB, man. You know, running backs of 0 RB are always pretty gross. But, and like I say, we're named a few that are decent. But like even David Johnson's top 5, and you're still taking wide receivers with 0 RB there. Even if you go modified 0 RB and you're taking a running back in the first 12. So you miss Julio. And then you go wide receiver. Your running backs start picking up. Like you start hammering running backs, around, I guess, some rookies, if you really like the rookies this year. Then you've got Sony Michel, DeAndre Swift, the rookie. Like those will be your RB1s. Darius Geis, I think, yeah, he's in this range too. Geis is decent. If he could stay healthy, that would work for you. Cam Akers is in this range, so is Kareem Hunt. So it's not like there isn't running backs to grab. But we go back to positional scoring here. You're competing with Christian McCaffrey's right now, and Alvin Kamara's, and Saquon Barkley's, and Dalvin Cook's if he stays healthy. Yeah, like 0 RB is always possible. But again, this is why we're going back to positional scoring here, or trying to. If wide receiver scoring keeps flattening out, then you're not even getting the edge that you're aiming for with hitting straight wide receivers, which is, you know, getting markedly upside replacement value in your wide receiver position. So your wide receiver 3 is scoring what most people wide receivers 1 and 2 is. But if that difference is like not significant, then even if you hit those running backs, which is a challenge normally as 0 RB, but the wide receivers aren't giving you an advantage either, apart from not having to replace them, and that by itself isn't good enough. If you know what I mean? So we really need to figure out if the wide receiver scoring can unflatten, in part. Which brings me back to why pivot tables suck. Okay, here's what we need to do. It sucks almightily. Can't see another way to do it. Oh, I tell you what we can do. That'll make this a little easier. My knowledge of pivot tables isn't good enough to get it to do this for me, so bear with me. Need Bobby Koch in here. He's a pivot table king as far as I know. At least he asked me questions about pivot tables, and I tell him, I don't know, man, I don't do a lot of pivot tabling. That's him. Usually figure it out if you play with it long enough, you know. That's how I figured out most things. But sometimes you don't really feel like figuring it out, so you just find a hack. All right. 2014. That's where we started to. Yep, right there. Right, so next. F. I'm going to help a column. Of course, because I forgot to do that because I got to talking. Yeah, ideally, I would have done this research and this stream will be about is it a 0 RB year, but it doesn't always work out that way, does it? I could do this stream in 3 days, or I can just do another one back then. All right, now we need 2015. Where are you, 2015? Instead of F, we'll be looking in G. Although my alphabet isn't as good as my numerical order, but there you go. 2016. H comes after G, right? Sure. This is why I do it. And why people are interested that I do it, because this part is the boring part. No one wants to grind. I don't want to grind. Not really. It's a grind. J. No, we need K. Oh. think if I do it this way, nope, then I should be able to go there, there, and change type, legend, boop. Limit here. Not 12. Right. Okay. Okay. So yeah, we can see the differences there. And that's green line's 2018 again. This is running backs. Last year, it was flat again. 2019, it's actually a high scoring year for running back 12. Look at that. Wow, running back 2019's all over the place. Look at it go. Weaving in and out. There's a lot more variance. Running backs 13 to 24. Like every other running back was significantly better than the one before him. That's weird. Right? What's happening there? Yeah, that shouldn't be happening. Points per game for running back 21 are higher than points per game for running back 12? Doesn't seem right. We're looking at this column right here, if you're wondering. See the way it's yo-yoing back and forth? It's unusual. I think 2019 data's off. Sorry, crossover. I'm looking at your message here. It's also not good for wide receiver scoring that the depth of the position is decreasing and some of the best QBs are getting old. No, we're seeing some new quarterbacks rise, to be fair, or the opposite point. Yeah, there's still only 24 wide receivers in the top 24, even though we always say it's getting so deep. No, there's still only 24. The problem is the scoring's flattening out. So, like, the wide receiver 12 isn't scoring significantly more per game than the wide receiver 8, which used to be different. Or the wide receiver 15, for that matter. And that's what I'm trying to get a chart of here, but, you know, it's not cooperating. I think the 2019 data might be slightly off. Let's look at wide receiver. Same thing's happening in 2019. I think my average is off. Damn it. Means I have to go start from scratch. But you can see, like, I don't know, you can see that at all. But if I zoom in here a little bit, like this line here that's zigzagging up and down, and the average is definitely broken. But you can see how it's a lot flatter than this steady decrease from all the other years right here. like this section. I can't even highlight it. This section right here. And whereas web receivers in 2019, there's a steep drop off until you get to web receiver 3. Like the web receiver 1 mattered a lot, web receiver 2 mattered quite a lot. Then there's a steady production all the way to web receiver 24. Whereas most years, or on average, we get this steadier decline through the first, 9, 10 wide receivers. Then it flattens out a little bit. So that's what we need. That's what I'm trying to get a view of here. Yeah, I'm going to have to redo that. I don't know if I just did the average wrong. I mean, you saw me do the average formula, right? Where's that problem coming from? Yeah, like the running back 16 should not average more points per game than the running back 15 and 14 and 13. And the running back 12 shouldn't. 2019's points per game broken. It's broken. All right, start fresh. Forget all this. That doesn't count. Ugh. This is why I need a weekly database. But it's a bitch to build. All right. I gotta get that. Let's do it here. NFL database. It's got everything. It depends which data. Contrarian Life, that's where I pull the data from. Depends what data we're talking about. A lot of my data come from Addison Hayes right now. Actually, he gave me another update. Formerly FF Statistics, now DLF. App manager, I guess. Data scientist. I get a lot from RotoViz, especially when looking wholesale. No, we can't. Damn, we can't do it that way. AODS.com, I've imported that into all of the aforementioned Pro Football Reference. It really depends what data we're talking about. Can't give one wholesale answer. That's why it's a grind. If this was, like, it is easy, but it's just time consuming to put it all together because there's no one that really gives you all of it free. So I have to assemble it from multiple sources. Which, I kind of find fun, but it's a chore for everyone, I know. Which is why I'm trying to help out by doing it for most people. Okie dokie. We can just make it from here, right? Oh, I wish I hadn't deleted that sheet. Oh, God, I'm a moron. 1, 2, 3. So we're just going to look at the top 36. I'm not making this complicated. Top 36 QB. What year do we want to go from? Because I was limited to 2013. That data was from 4 for 4, for example. But now I'm using RotoViz's data, so, but it's my position rank calculation, to be fair. So, I don't know. Do I really have to go back to 2009? Yes. Okay. Back. Receiver. Thank God there are only 4 positions at least. Because IDP doesn't exist. Get it? Okay, it's 2009. 2010. 2011. 2011. We need 2012. I'm just going to make it instead of editing the sheet because I don't like to do that to the NFL database. It was a bitch to compile in and of itself. And so I kind of like to leave it alone and just like import from it most of the time. Wondering why I'm going the long way around. Too many mistakes happen. Not having it happen tonight. No, the only problem, it's not a problem. The difficult part, if you're interested in a RotoViz sub, the Roto Screener app makes it worth the money by itself, and that's before you get to the articles and stuff. And I'm a DLF guy, so, you know, subscribe to DLF. Anderson's working hard in getting us that data on that site available that way, similar way, like I just mentioned. But I love RotoViz, man. If we could, we should subscribe to all of them. So, you know, quick mention for RotoViz here. The Roto Screener app, seriously, just all the articles are great. I mean, there's some great articles, some great people, some great content, some other great tools. But the Roto Screener app makes the subscription price worthwhile. My Patreons are literally paying. That's what I use that money for. But outside of that, the only problem I have with using it is that you can download position by position, but when you download more like data from everyone, it doesn't list position. So what you have to do is you have to run your search, download it, add position in, running back, double tap, then go back and get the wide receivers and add it all together. And it's not a pain until you're looking week by week, and then you have to do all quarterback week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, running back week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. And that's the chore of RotoViz. If you want multi-position stats and you want to know whether it's coming from a running back or a quarterback, like it doesn't list position when you download it. So you have to add it in, and therefore you have to only search one position at a time. And it's kind of a pain in the butt. We're doing points per game, right? So PPR rank would be what we're looking for, right? By position and by year. And so what we're going to need is a helper column that lists all three of those. So 2019's quarterback. And so my new little helper column here is going to have to be 2019 quarterback and PPR rank. And I made the PPR rank, so if there's a flaw on this data, that's where it'll come from. It's just a simple formula, but I screw up a lot of things, you know. It's just good to know where you have to go and look for the error. All right, so now we're going to import using index match. The extension here is Spaceman. This is index match at work here. So where do we want? We want the points per game, right? That's what we're looking for. Let's just do PPR points first start. Match. That little helper column I just made. 0. Double tab. Add in the lookup value, which is that. Copy that formula. I don't have to write it out again. See what's like, come on. Am I some kind of coder? I'm an Excel man. We copy and paste. Where's the points per game? I know I have you in here, points per game. If you see points per game, shout it out, okay? Should be right next to PPR points, but it was not. And that's because I moved it over here. Okay, I was doing something with it apparently. That's why you don't mess with the Excel sheet, you know? That's why you don't mess with the main sheet. Okay, let's just check out 2019 here. We were having problems with wide receiver. Yeah, look, there it is again. How is the wide receiver 16 averaging more points per game than the wide receiver 15? Unless... No, that's not really a thing. It doesn't happen every other year. I mean, maybe once or twice because someone beats you overall points but only plays part of a season. Like you got to watch out for Antonio Brown last year, for example. Like it happens right here in 2018. All right, we're important games to try and make sense of this. I apologize for maybe I hadn't screwed your data up. Maybe this is just a weird thing from last year where this happened a lot. That would be interesting. Yeah, look at the quarterbacks. Nice. 2019, where were we? That's how. Look, the wide receiver 16 played 14 games, so got less fantasy points, but was averaging more points per game. And who was that? Let's look up names here. Data verification, man. Maybe this just did happen a lot in 2019. DJ Chalk. You scumbucket. You're messing with my data set. This is why points per game sucks, too. Can we just not do flat PPR points? We're going to have to do, people, we're going to have to do a points per game rank instead of a PPR rank. And that should put a stop to this stuff. I hate doing that. All right. Do we have it? No. No. I'm not that lucky. See, I've got a PPR rank that ranks you in terms of total PPR points. I didn't do. Oh, okay. Points per game. Position. Rank. Very important to label your columns, I have learned, like fully. I'm going to tag that because otherwise I'll lose it. All right, so instead, we're going to do this the easy but laborsome way. Because the formulas cock up, and I've had enough cock-ups tonight. So we'll organize by points per game, and by position, and by season. And here's where you have to be real careful. Because there are some players playing 8 games. Gee, look at that. Like, that's not what we want, right? We don't want to know the... It's the Antonio Brown problem. Let me show you what I'm looking at here. Like, Antonio Brown played 1 game last year, right? But he finishes as a points per game wide receiver 11. But that's not who you want to look up when you're looking at a historical trend of the last 10 years or so, right? You want to get rid of those guys. But everyone loves points per game because they think it tells them more. Like Devontae Adams is so much better. Once you look at points per game, it's not wrong, but like you're going to get more Antonio Brown fallacies than you're going to get Devontae Adams accounted for. What if instead of doing the players' points per game, I just did the teams? Like divide their points by 16 games. I don't have to worry about it then. Hey, J-Mike. How you doing? Veto for Pedro. You're vetoing me? J-Mike literally turned up to veto me? Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Vote. Oh, okay. Sorry, man. I can't read the night. As this entire stream has probably shown. Vote. V-O-T-E. Gotcha. A replacement value for the weeks they missed. Then I'm making a fake number. Based on logical assumptions, but still a fake number. Like I could find their points per game and then add, however many weeks they missed. Feels a lot better to just divide by 16 for all players. Because that's the truth, isn't it? Sure, DJ Chark had more points per game, but you didn't get him for one extra game, and so you got one less game out of him, so he should be ranked over the guy that got you more points overall. Why is this happening in 2019 a lot to create that ziggy-zaggy line that we didn't like? So I don't know. You've got Sterling Shepard, DJ Chark, Antonio Brown. I already mentioned Deshaun Jackson was actually the wide receiver. Was that the wide receiver 4 in 2019? On a points per game basis. Oh, wait, look. It is a points per game rank. It has to be. It has to be. He said very nasally. No, it's not. My PPR rank. Oh, I've got to organize my points per game. Okay. Oh, what's going on here? Well, what the what? Oh, I'm missing. Oh. Something hinky this way comes. Sorry, I imagine it's really boring to stare at me while I do this. But he should be labeled wide receiver 125. Instead, it labeled him wide receiver 4 like it had a points per game calculation. Position and PPR rank. Give me the PPR rank. Where are you? There. Why is this still filtered? Come on now. You saw me hit unfilter. I mean, we can watch the tape, but I definitely hit unfilter there. So that should shake it out. Because now, yeah. No QB. Okay, now we don't have a QB7 in 2019. That's a little awkward, but whatever. What's this meant to be? Oh, column that broke because I don't have all the teams figured out yet. Anyway, 2019 QBs. What's broken? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Patrick Mahomes. 2019 QB7. Okay, now it's found him. Okay, yeah, I appreciate that, Sheet. Thank you for catching up. Making me look like a moron. All right, yeah, all right. So you're going to get that. There's a problem. There's an Evan Ingram problem, if you want. I think like he's getting 13 points per game, but technically he's wide tight end 18. So if we want to track this year over year, now we need the points per game thing that I was working on. All right, that's straighter. Neat. We need to figure that out. What's the best? I don't mind finding a replacement value is interesting. What I can do is run a points per game rank formula that ignores everyone that played less than a certain number of games. So, it'd rank out Evan Ingrams of the world. Or I can times their points per game by 16. But that's such a fake number, though. You didn't want Evan Ingram last year over whoever got you the other points. What are we trying to do here? Stuff tears my head up sometimes. Oh, it's open bar night. Yeah, guys, you should stop watching me and go watch the open bar. It's about to start. I don't get invited to that thing anymore, but it was always fun when I did. So, thanks, J-Mate. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. If you create a replacement value, contrarian life, then that's the thing. I'm not actually technically talking about Evan Ingram, though. I'm talking about the tight end X, because I'm trying to look at positional scoring over years. So points per game is kind of ludicrous that way. So what if we take the points per game of the end of year rank and then divide that by 16? And then you're essentially saying that's what the actual tight end 7 got you. That'll work, right? Yeah. So instead of the player's points per game, you go with the positional scoring points per game. So that would be like this divided by 16, essentially. And then you get a nice, neat line, at least. Is that how they do it? Those points per game gurus? So, yeah, then Ingram looks like he got you 6.8 points per game, which he did over the course of a 16-game season. But when he was playing, the player was actually more valuable, but the tight end 18 that year really only got you 16.8. Does that make sense? Yeah, that sounds like so much more fake, though. Like, this I can actually say, Like the guy who finished tight end 18 last year got you 6.8 points per game. That's true. It's just that the distribution was over 8 games. You know what I mean? At least it's true. It's not a number I calculated on a value that I, an educated guess of what he would have done. Like, I don't like what they would have done. J Mike, hopefully Howling's makes a triumphant return. That'd be nice. Yep. Guys, I'm actually going to get off here in a second, not because I'm done with this, just because the Open Bar is a seriously good podcast, and I don't kind of want to cross over on their broadcast time. I might go join in the chat over there if you're interested. I will keep on this research and come back, and I'll do more live streams. I completely forgot it was Open Bar night, to be honest with you. So, especially where I don't get those invites so much anymore. But please go check it out. Tell you what I'll do. Hang on. You can see what I'm doing. I'm going to go hound Gabe a little bit. I'm sure he tweeted it out. His name's Gabriel now, for those who don't know. I'll tweet out the link and I'll put it in the chat here for you guys too. Really fun podcast, and I'll probably be in the chat there at some point. Where's the link, Gabe? Gabe, put out the link. Gabe. There it is. All right. No, that's a podcast he was just on. Come on now, Gabe. Get on your game. J Mike will have done it, right? J Mike, you still here? You left, right? I mean, tweet out your link, guys. There it is. No, that's another podcast someone wants me to listen to that I already listened to. Nice. And it's Dave. Look, it's Spaceman telling me to. That's not a link to the podcast tonight, guys. That's a link to the thing that you did a week ago. Like, I mean, well, I'm going to listen to the Open Bar. Why don't you make it easy? You know? Okay, we're YouTubing it. You'll be able to see all my Fortnite streamers. Oh no. There it is. That's tonight. Okay, we're tweeting this out because they can't seem to do it. Can I edit this maybe? Is this the level of my internet? I have too many browsers. Oh, there we go. Since its host isn't tweeting it out, I'll tweet it out. There we go. All right, I'm posting the link in here, guys. Take it easy, AM. Maybe I'll see you on the Open Bar. I'm posting it in your tracks. That's a link to their live YouTube show tonight. You can also catch it on their podcast feed, which is normally what I end up doing every week because I get stuck in some sort of research on it. But tonight I'm going to try and hit that chat thread. Hope to see you there. Thanks for coming and watching me completely stumble over what points per game is. Thanks for the suggestions, like the way contrarian life. It really has helped talk it out. That's why I think it's really cool that we all get to communicate about fantasy football. Sometimes you just need someone to tell you. Alex, nice to see you too, man. I think that's the first time I saw you comment. All right, I'll try and live stream again some point and find someone to talk to this week for the Dynasty Crossroads too, so it's not just me, more of just me. Appreciate you guys. I'll talk to you again next time. Bye.